What's up, family? Marcus here with the Puka Minute Podcast, and I'm so thankful to be here with you today. We had one heck of a great episode last Friday, and we hope to match that or beat it today with this episode. I hope you're all having a great day. Hope you plan on having a great weekend, and make sure that you win all of your matches at your local F&M. So without further ado, Julian is going to kick it off with some awesome tunes as we show you the big money trades, the top 7 trades of the last 7 days. Julian, hit it and hit the episode. It's that special time where our beautiful editor Julian shows us all of our trades for this week, plus what was in the mail. Julian, hit it.
What's up, family, and thank you for joining myself and DZ7
Hello.
on the finance portion of today's podcast. We're going to be talking about 3 main topics, and the first is going to be being a Patreon of this channel. I just really want to quickly say that you can't lose right now, so since we're a new channel, and DZ can atone to this because he is a Patreon, and no matter what level you choose, you are going to win back your money plus some. Dizit, can you explain a little bit of what I'm trying to say here so they can hear it from someone other than me?
Okay, so basically, $1 a month, as you probably see, I've seen the tiers, $1 a month basically gets you an entry in the staple of the month. I won, last month, 2 months ago, or something, and I've made that dollar back times 30. And since I'm a $20 Patreon, I basically won that card plus a couple EMA packs, which retail for like $13. So that's basically $55 worth of value for $20 a month. Is what I got out of it.
And that was before we changed the tiers. So now that the tiers are different, everyone, you're getting sealed packs now open on the channel. So, in other words, if you are, let's say, a $5 Patreon, if you were to buy 3 packs at your LGS, David, how much would you spend on 3 sealed packs of a newer set?
12, 13 and change.
Okay, well, with us, if you're a $5 Patreon, you're getting those 3 packs. So, basically, you guys need to check out the tiers. And this is on the finance portion because it's a way to make money back while still supporting an early life channel. So guys, please check it out. David's done it. He's won. Everyone wins now that everything is changed up to using sealed packs and giving us an opportunity to do more videos, do more pack openings. Everyone wins. So with that out of the way and everyone completely understanding by now how great it is to be a Patreon of the Puka Minute Podcast, David, I would like it if you could explain to us some card spikes and some finance stuff for standard and maybe a little bit of modern if you have it.
Alright, well, I'll go ahead and start with modern. Last week, MTG Goldfish basically put out a deck list of, basically, if you're familiar with Legacy Cheerios, it's a kind of Storm deck that plays a bunch of 0-drops. There's now a modern version with Pure Stew Paladin and SRAM Senior Edificer from Aether Revolt. That caused the spike in Retract, which was a rare from Darksteel, and to an extent Pure Steel Paladin. So Retract was bulk before this list came out. The deck took 5th place at an IQ. It has 5-0'd some Moto leagues. So basically, if you have any Darksteel rares in your bulk box or binder or whatever, look for a Retract. They're like $20 now.
Nice. And what a clever name. I love the Cheerios because of the zero drops. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. That's really all that's been going on for Modern. Standard, we have the Pro Tour coming up this weekend, starting today, Friday. It's totally Friday. And that's pretty much the big swing of prices happening in Standard right now. 2 big decks, obviously, the Saheeli Copycat decks and the Black-Green decks. So basically, out of several variations of those, I'll be paying very attention to the key pieces that are uniform in all of those, like Saheeli, Grim Flare, the usual, like, the usual mainstay staples of that deck. Also interesting, I would be on the lookout to see how Gideon Ally of Zendikar plays out. I've heard it's seen some sideboard play in the Saheeli decks, but it is also a mythic that is getting ready to rotate out once Amonkhet comes out. But however, it is seeing some Modern and Eternal play. Let's see. We have Gideon at like 25 now. I might see him low at 15 post-rotation at that initial crash, but I'm not sure. It's just something that I would keep my eyes out for in the coming months.
Yeah, I had a playset plus a foil Gideon, and I also had a playset on Moto, and I have moved all of them just because I think there's more of a chance of the price drop.
Right, and if you're not a Standard player and you're looking to pick up some Gideons, just wait until rotation. Basically, that's when everything always crashes, and then sometimes a card or two rebounds back up.
So back to Modern a little bit. Do you think that Fatal Push coming out has changed the value of other removal cards of that color?
Fatal Push. So Mono Black didn't really have the best bit of removal now in the current meta, besides things like Dismember, and Path to Exiles and Lightning Bolts had otherwise taken their kind of place in like the green black X decks and Grixis, Esper Control, what have you, but and Terminate as well. But I see Fatal Push making its way in over like a Terminate or Lightning Bolt or whatever. It's just adding to that whole repertoire. I don't expect like the card itself to be changing an entire meta. I think it makes like a couple decks more viable because they have that extra removal option.
I can attest to the fact that the foil version is now around $26 on eBay. So if you wanted to buy them less than $30, you can now. But I feel it'll continue to go down.
Yeah, as more and more product is open, more and more of them will be getting out there, and then people are just trying to obviously get the most what they can. But you know.
Now, is there still another ban coming for Standard?
For Standard, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, a lot of people are speculating about Saheeli or Feldar Guardian, but I mean, unless it takes every single top 8 slot at the Pro Tour, I don't see any more bans happening post Pro Tour for Standard.
Cool. Is there anything else that you wanted to throw out there before I talk about a specific alpha plateau?
No. I'm intrigued. Go ahead.
So, I'm sure there's plenty of intrigued people. So yesterday, I spent some time in Discord, as everyone should, and just kind of posting a link here and there, checking out what people are talking about, and working on, maybe a minor trade or two. But then all of a sudden I see a picture pop up of an alpha plateau. And I mean, at that point, any solid, magic collector is going to have his interest piqued, So I just kind of sat back and saw what was going to be going on here. And he was basically offering to sell it for, well, it was essentially he wanted to get a 100% bonus on it. So the 987 some odd dollars worth of Puka points plus another $100,000, or not
Jeez.
$1,000 with Puka points. It's so freaking confusing. Anyway, so it would be 200K, right? Do I have that right?
Sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. So 200K Puka points for this alpha plateau, and in my head, I'm like, well, I don't even have that many points right now, so I couldn't get it even if I wanted it, and I did want it. But I said, what the hell? I might as well send the guy a message on Discord and see if he has any wiggle room, because, that's what every solid trader would do, is at least see what he can make happen. So I wrote the guy, and I had never personally done business with him, so I didn't know him from, the next trader, but especially he didn't have an avatar, so I was like, oh, what is this, a new guy or something? So, I tried to talk him, to see his lowest he would take for it. And then he started talking about me looking at his want list. So, I mean, obviously I'm going to do that. Well, when I looked at his want list, I had a clue, because in his name, he was giving a huge bonus for MTGO tickets. So that was a clue. That was a clue for me that this guy wants MTGO tickets. Well, it just so happened by fate, that the night before I was on MTGO getting rid of cards like those Gideons I mentioned and other cards that I had that I wasn't using. And I traded them all away for tickets, and I just wanted to see how many tickets I'd have, and it just so happened that I had north of 200 tickets. That didn't really mean that much to me. I was probably just going to use them here and there for drafts or sealed league. So I mentioned to him that I had, 200 tickets that I would be willing to trade off. And he definitely perked up and got excited. I could tell a difference in his tone, and I could actually see progress being made. And then he mentioned he needed a little bit more for reciprocal.
Sure.
And a reciprocal for an alpha plateau is no freaking problem. I thought all he wanted was straight points, but once he opened the door to reciprocal, I found out he just wanted another 100, or will it be 10K in Puka points? So I said, how about this? The flat points that Puka would take away for the plateau, 200 MTGO tickets, and a Liliana of the Veil, reciprocal. And he took the trade, dude.
That's gas.
He freaking took the trade, and at that point, I was on cloud 9. But there's a lot more important stuff that has to be discussed, because we both need to feel safe in a trade like this.
Yep.
So I suggested that he confirms the trade and then gets tracking for me. Obviously, he's going to do that tracking anyway, because that's a big money card.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I get the tracking, then I confirm the tickets. Once I get the card and verify the card, I send the tickets to the Puka bot and confirm and ship the Liliana of the Veil, and then release the points for everything. So, such a fun trade, biggest I've ever had by far on PucaTrade. And I, for the first time in a year, have less than 10,000 Puka points.
Jeez.
So, and actually, there were more random trades sent to me last night, and I don't know why or how. Maybe it was because I had a little bit more publicity from this big trade. But I only have like 35,000 Puka points now.
That's pretty good.
So now, okay, like here's a big tell. I had a lot of Puka points. Now I don't. I'm already sending random trades out. So what that tells me that what needs to happen is we need more traders, and we need those traders to send cards to the veteran traders. Take the veteran traders' points so the veteran traders can get back to just sending just because again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like I recently just went send crazy and just chipped out like $300 worth of stuff that's just been sitting in my binder. Like all the random people, and now I'm like sitting on just points now. So, but like if there were other people who could, like myself and the other guy and you, who would just like send just because, or try to figure out these big trades, it would just help Puka become alive again.
Yeah, it's such a mindset. And I was talking to a couple of the people at Puka yesterday after this trade got done because I was so excited.
Sure.
That it is such a mindset that once I got low on points, everything changed for me. Like, I woke up yesterday feeling like I'm not going to send out a trade in a little while because I had a huge stockpile. So I was staying away from reciprocals, and I just needed to get some randoms in. But my mindset changed immediately when I got low on points. So, in my opinion, and with the fact of how yesterday went, if we can take points away from these veteran traders that have a stockpile of points right now, they would instantly start sending cards again. If they're anything like me, that is.
Absolutely, because, I mean, it's not really fair to use a metaphor with actual currency, because a bank account with $1 million, of course you're going to want another $1 million in it, but a PucaTrade account with 30,000 Puka points is not going to want 30,000 more Puka points unless they want something that expensive.
Right. So unless you're working a trade with someone for a card that's above how many you want, you're not going to go out just willy-nilly sending cards right now.
Right. And because like right now that I'm sitting on however many points, I'm just like, I'm very clearly stating in my Discord messages that I do not have any reciprocal trades, but I will gladly offer bonuses.
Right, I did see that yesterday too. So this is pretty much the end of the finance portion. I'm really thankful to have you on today, and hopefully we can collaborate and do it again next week.
Of course.
And I hope that the listeners did enjoy us talking a little bit about modern and standard and this Plateau from Alpha trade. Is there anything else that you would like to mention before we cut off here?
Just other than just to pay attention to the Pro Tour if you're a standard player, but otherwise, give and let give.
Hey man, I was just gonna say the same thing. Send me your link again to Puka because I need some points again.
All right.
What's up, family? Andy here with the pro tip. This week's pro tip is don't exclusively hold out for reciprocal trades. Yes, it's great to know that you're getting cards of similar value in return for each shipment. However, there are plenty of traders who look at your want list once they've seen you've committed to send cards, and they will send back cards if they're able to. Yes, reciprocal trades are great, especially when you want to send and receive high-value cards, but it can be hard to find people who have what you're looking for in similar value. FutureSight has made it very easy with their new filters to find active traders to initiate trade relationships with, especially when you're looking to send out large quantities of lower value cards. That is this week's pro tip.
As per usual, we are here for the PucaTrader Spotlight, and as you all know, this is my favorite segment in each episode. I sure hope that the people in the Spotlight do get some cards out of it to help them achieve their goals. So please, everyone, if you see a card that you can part with up on the screen as Julian puts the want list up, please hook a brother up. So, without further ado, our spotlighted trader today is Yanitharose. I learned where this name comes from in our interview, and it is quite cool. His name is Yanni, and his family crest has a black rose on it. And not only does he use the rose in his name, but it's also tattooed on him. Yanni has a small store, and it started when he needed some extra bills paid. It started out as a consignment shop and just snowballed from there, but we'll get into more of that later. Yanni stumbled upon PucaTrade through a friend, and he fell in love with it right away, as most of us do. He had a stockpile of cards, and he was so excited to send at will, so that's what he did. He also used it to obtain cards for clients and his personal collection. Yanni has more than 20 decks for himself. Yet, let me tell you that this terrifies me, because I lose my mind just having one at a time. So, I commend you, Yanni. Yanni's favorite trade sent out was with a trader and a new friend of his, Uman. It was a mint Arabian Nights Whack Whack, a mint Maze of Ith from the Dark, a Legends Field of Dreams, a Legends Acid Rain, and a land tax totaling 19,200 Puca points. This trade made Yanni very happy to know that he is helping other people and their collections. That is the spirit that I so enjoy hearing about. The give and let give philosophy lives on through trades just like this one. Yanni's favorite trade received was from a trader by the name of Nimitz Blitz Infector. He's received a 5,900 Puca point package. It wasn't so much the card or cards that he got in the trade that made him happy, but the extra foil lands that came with the trade that made his day. It is awesome when traders do things like this to spice up a trade. There's no greater feeling than getting the card that you wanted and also getting a little bit extra, maybe some altered art lands or some tokens, or really even just a simple thank you note. When talking about the future of PucaTrade, we discussed heavily how PucaTrade is only as good as the members within it. Doesn't that sound like a lot of the stuff we talked about last week? It is up to us to make this work. The people at Puca can't trade our cards for us. We are the ones that have to do it. It doesn't matter, for example, how good your baseball team is. You can't make money as an organization, or in this analogy, do good as a baseball team if you don't have fans. We are the fans of PucaTrade, and if we don't start trading at will, then we are all gonna, lose out in the end. Yanni has sent cards to all 50 states, and the fact that he kept track of that is so cool to me. His largest trade out was to B. Patterson, totaling 40,000 Puca points. He has sent a total of 553 trades out for a total of 255,261 Puca points. His two biggest wants currently are 2 Flutterstorms. He also seeks 2 boxes of Conspiracy to hold drafts, so if anyone has packs laying around, he is your guy. If we really want to make Yanni's day, he is craving a playset of Player Rewards Lightning Bolts to spice up one of his decks. Yanni heard about Puca Minute during our last episode, when someone linked the episode to him. He also agreed with so many of our points that he couldn't just end the show and move on. He had to contact us and me directly to discuss what was said on that episode. Yanni plans to be a Patreon of the Puca Minute at some point, because at every tier you will make money back and then some. I mean, he's a store owner, so he can see value when he sees it. He looks to support the channel more in the future, and we love hearing things like that. Lastly, we discussed reciprocal trading a bit during our interview. We agreed that a lot of people are are leaning on them a little too much. We also both agreed that if we only rely on recips, in other words, reciprocals, we will kill Puca. As discussed last week, so many players and traders don't have the ability to do reciprocal trading, so people, let's make a change. Yanni believes in the hashtag one trade a day that yours truly came up with. I do like to take credit on that hashtag, by the way, so, as you all know. I want to thank Yanni for participating in this week's Spotlight, especially for only being a fan for literally a couple of days. And I sure hope that we can help him get some of his wants taken care of. Let's show him that we are a good community. If any one of you have amazing people interested in Yanni's store, or you're interested yourself, they do authentications there. So if you do need authenticating of any kind, he is the man to talk to. If you need legacy or vintage, he also has a nice lot to be seen. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Yanni. Let's move on with the show. What's up, family? Marcus here with the giveaway portion of the Puka Minute podcast. And not only are we going to open 7 packs for our Patreons, but Julian's also going to show you right now the 2 winners of 300 Puka points each. So, Julian, show the 2 subscribers that won 300 Puka points. All right, now that you guys know that, I am going to show you who is going to win the staple of the month. And in order to do that, I got to go to random.org, where everyone disappeared. I had everyone's names on here. Let's see if there's... Okay, there they are. They're still there. It's probably... There we go. All right, so all of our Patreons lists, our names are right there. The person at the very top after I hit randomize will be the winner. So good luck, and winner is... Chris N. Nice win, Chris N. You get a foil Necropotence from the vault. Congratulations. Who got last place? Jeremiah D. Bad day for you. All right, so Chris N., go ahead and email me, pukaminute@gmail.com, to ensure that you got the message. And now, let's pick the next 7 people from that list I just randomized. We got Ben... We got Dylan. We got Dezit. Ben, Dylan, Dezit. Rel Delam. He's a newer Patreon. Rel Delam. Wito. Travis C. And... Pedro P. So, 2 people that were subscribers just won 300 Puka points. Chris N. just won the staple of the month. And now it's time for these 7 Patreons to see what they got. We're going to start with Ben. Ben is going to get a Deft Dismissal, a Felidar Guardian, very good pull, and a Pacification Array, and his rare is a Merchant's Dockhand. So, those go to Ben. Congratulations, Ben. Dylan, your turn. You are up. We got a Foundry Hornet, a Hidden Herbalist, Spire Patrol, and a SRAM Senior Edificier. Boom, Ben. Got that pack. And let's move on to Dezit. Sometimes you guys get to hear Dezit's beautiful voice here on the podcast. His first uncommon is Treasure Keeper, a Jaunty's Machinations, I probably said that wrong, Monstrous Onslaught, and Consulate Crackdown. Packs are not too epic as of yet. Next is Reldalam, newer Patreon. His first Patreon pack is going to have, hopefully, something spicy. A Cogwork Assembler, a Jaunty's Machinations, and a Vengeful Rebel, and an Aether-Gnode Miner. I know that card has been talked about a little bit. Congratulations to Reldalam. Wito. For Fat Pack Friday, there's a foil back there. Gifted Aetherborn, Maulfist Revolutionary, Hidden Stockpile, Solemn Recruit, and a Pima Aether Seer. So, congratulations. You'll get these 4 cards with your Patreon winnings. If you guys do not know this already, we did change the format of how we do our Patreon giveaways, so go to Patreon, our Patreon page down in the description below, to see how much more you will now win. and how many more packs will be opened on this channel. If you guys want to be involved, go ahead and sign up now. Invigorated Rampage, Windkin Raiders, Aerial Modification, and a Disallow. That is the best pull we've had as of yet, and that was for Travis C. And our last pack is going to Pedro. Good luck. Hopefully we can get something really nice before this episode is done. Foundry Hornet again. Pima Aether Seer, we just saw that in foil. Maverick Thopterist, and a Scrap Trawler. What an uneventful Fat Pack Friday. But everyone gets their cards. That was for Pedro P. These will all automatically ship, no claiming necessary for Patreons. Congratulations to the 7 Patreon winners. Chris N. for winning the Staple of the Month for January, and the 2 subscribers that won 300 Puka points. Those 2 individuals do need to email me, pukaminute@gmail.com, to get their 300 Puka points each. Guys, give and let give, and let's move on to the next segment. Okay, everybody, let's take this moment to talk a little bit about the promoted trades. So, they recently launched the promoted trades as we have talked about in the past few episodes. They have accomplished their mission as far as getting points out of the system, which we all, of course, can agree on that is a good thing for us all. One thing that I'm a little skeptical about is the fact that I've had about 100% bonus on one card that I have promoted a trade on, and absolutely nothing has come out of it yet. So as of right now, I personally am out 10% from what the card is valued, which isn't that big of a deal for me right now, because I do get to hold a promoted trader spot until that card is committed to trade to me. So the money is worth it, but don't you think that it would be a little bit faster of a trade if you have 100% bonus on one card? So let's recap. PucaTrade needs to get rid of points from the economy. Check. This does that. So that's a good thing. But for us, the traders, our goal is to get a card, or cards, depending on how many you have promoted. But if we never get that card, that's kind of a problem, because now we're just paying for nothing. Sure, we're paying in PucaTrade points or Puka points, but still, there's a disconnect here. What can we do as a community to make this better? Well, I've thought a few things over, and one thing that I keep coming to is to promote your promoted trade. So, how do we do that? Well, Twitter. So what we're going to do is, right after this episode airs, if I still don't have that card, which I probably won't, I'm going to promote the promoted trade on Twitter. See if it works. We're going to keep doing this, and so you guys are all aware, the card is a Masterpiece Soul Ring. So we're going to continue to do this and find what works, because we need to do it together. That way we can all get on the same page and do it together with each other's cards. So if you guys are currently promoting a card, let me know what that card is down below, and I would love to help you promote your promoted trade. We'll use Twitter first, and hopefully that works. If that doesn't work, then we'll have to make another alternative method of promoting a promoted trade. So now let's get into my next subject, and that is being a Patreon. How would you like to spend $1 on a sealed pack of cards? How would you also like to get, with that exact same dollar, an entrance to win a Staple of the Month every month? How would you also like to get a Patreon pack from the Puka Minute? All those things are possible with just $1. Many, many more things are possible with more money on higher tiers of becoming a Patreon. But today, I want to focus on just that one single dollar. With $1, I will open up a sealed pack for you with your name on it, live, every month, here at the Puka Minute Podcast. It might be live on Periscope on Twitter. It might be on a Fat Pack Friday episode. And it could be in another method. So, with that $1, you could literally win a Staple of the Month, which This month was a foil necropotence from the vault. And you could also get, say, a walking ballista. Hell, a masterpiece from Aether Revolt. The possibilities are endless. As you can see, like with this giveaway in this episode, many people are all winning every episode. I'm also releasing other videos with other Patreons winning in their packs. So please go to the Patreon website down in the description and read how you can just give $1 and get endless possibilities of cards. We're not asking for much. We just need help spreading the word about the Puka Minute podcast so we can get more people involved in our community. We have 187 subscribers, and I'm thankful for every one of them right now. And I hope to grow the number of Patreons, which right now we have 22. Thank you for Yanitharose for not only being in our spotlight today, but also committing to be a Patreon of this channel. All of you guys mean a lot to me, and I hope to see you on our Patreon list very soon. So, Julian, let's go ahead and move on to the next segment of the Puka Minute podcast today. Always nice to see you guys here at the Puka Minute podcast, and it's always great to have Julian's editing hit home runs like it did today. Everyone, please say thank you to my team, and also, please enjoy this disclaimer.